Hey, it's Josie, and welcome to Eccentric Services channel. I want to talk to you about Ascension today. This is the What is Ascension video. And it's been a long time coming because I don't know. Don't even ask me why. Okay, so if you hear people talking about Ascension, most likely you're also going to hear about them talking about star seeds, 1111, angel numbers, Ascension symptoms, things like that, okay? That's all part of the ascension or the awakening. We all have our individual experiences, but we are also all experiencing ascension as a collective. Even the earth is rising to a higher vibration, okay? We speak in energy. So when we say vibration, it stems from the belief that everything is energy and everything vibrates at different frequencies, okay? So let's start with the earth. The earth that we live on, the planet, is raising its frequency, okay? Hers, his, however you want, whatever your beliefs are, okay? And because of that, we have got to raise our frequency. This is one of those, get with the program or get left behind type situations. The planets in the universe, they're moving regardless of if we want them to or not. Okay? So we've got to get on board. So what's happening with us now is that our frequencies are raising and we're evolving not only on an energetic level, but on a physical level too, because again, everything is energy. This is the belief. Okay, so everything, even hard tables, solid material things are energy. They just vibrate at a lower, or I don't know if it's a lower or a higher frequency. They vibrate at a certain frequency that keeps them solid, okay? I'm not a quantum physicist. Anyway, so the earth is raising her frequency. We're raising our frequency to keep up with the earth, okay? Some of you may come across things, information, and this is why we tell you to research on your own, where some of us have the understanding that the rapture that happens in the Bible is actually what's happening now, but it does not look like the Bible says it. Because you're not supposed to take the Bible literally anyway, okay? Lean not on your own understanding. Once I had my own personal awakening, I went back and looked through the Bible and I understood it totally differently, okay? It's still relevant. Some of it is, but you've got to know how to read it. You've got to have your own understanding. You've got to have your own connection with source energy. And when I say source energy, I mean God. I mean the one God that most of us believe in, okay? There are deities, but then the source creator created everything, okay? Good, bad, and different. Anyway, so back to ascension. Okay, so that's pretty much what ascension is about. We're raising our consciousness. We're coming online. There's a lot of what we call activations and downloads. This is a very, very, very fun part of ascension. Not so much. I was being sarcastic. So when you receive a download, most likely it's going to be at a DNA level. Okay, sometimes we get downloads of information that we have to process and then express, because that's what we came here to do, be expressions of the Creator. You are an expression of the Creator. So when we receive these ascension downloads, we're receiving not only manna, like life force nourishment, but we're also receiving information, okay? You are a soul having a human experience. That is the belief. Again, I'm not here to tell you what to think, how to feel, and all this and that. So you're receiving more than just whatever you think you're receiving, okay? And when you get a download, sometimes it doesn't feel very good. And I'm going to do a whole nother video on this. This is where we get the ascension symptoms. When you've had a headache, when you don't want to eat, or when you're eating a whole lot, when you're having hot flashes and all those things, and you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, well, you know, everything looks fine to us. And you think you're going nuts. We call those ascension symptoms. Okay? So that's what happens when you get a download, because you have to energetically metabolize information and translate it to human understanding. It's a lot going on subconsciously, okay? And then after the download, you are basically able to upgrade. Just like, literally, just like on a computer, okay? You got to download the file and then click run to start the process of the upgrade. So your download is what you're receiving. Your upgrade is what you're expressing, okay? And you'll know once you're done getting your download and processing it and metabolizing it and everything, because then you're going to start to know things that you don't even know how you know them. You're going to start to be more interested in certain things. You're going to have new abilities, all kinds of stuff. That is your expression. That is the upgrade, okay? DNA activation is another trigger word for ascension, okay? And that's a whole nother video by itself, because that really talks about what's happening with your physical body. Not just these spiritual, energetic exchanges, but how it's affecting your physical body. There is an understanding that everything happens in spirit first. Everything happens in energy first before it reaches a physical level, okay? So by the time you're going through physical changes, a lot happened behind the scenes. Let's see, what else can we cover about ascension? A lot of people like to think of ascension as, oh, I'm raising my vibration higher because we live here in this physical realm with directions and time and things like that. And spirit doesn't see time. Okay, so a lot of us like to think, oh, well, I'm ascending. Therefore, I'm higher than this person in my vibration, but we're thinking like on a level, when in fact there isn't really any levels. We are all one, and we are all individuals. So everyone's individual expression is just as important as the next, because we all have our role. Like, we're all working together through our individual expressions, okay? So there's not really any hierarchies here. You may have an idea that someone else is not as ascended as you, or not as high vibe as you. And yeah, that's your truth. You can have that. But somebody else may think of that person as more ascended than them. You know, there was always somebody before you, and there's always going to be somebody after you. You see what I mean? And then there is always something that you don't know that somebody else knows. We have a lot of what we call drama in the conscious community or the ascension community, because some people feel like they're more experienced, because yeah, we go through a lot of stuff, and some of us have been going through it longer than others, but they get to the point to where they feel like they're more experienced, or there's something about them that's more special and things like that. And we really don't like that kind of energy, okay? Because everyone has something to teach, and everyone has something to learn. The best teacher is the student. You see what I mean? And it's ongoing. There's a give and take. There's cycles. It goes around and round and round, right? You're going to always be learning, no matter how old you are, no matter how many experiences you've had. So I like to promote, equality and love through this process. And it's very important that you come from a heart space when you're out there dealing with other light workers. There's another key word. A light worker is someone who is actively expressing all of their downloads. You're out there teaching. You're out there being of service to humanity in some kind of way. I don't care if you're baking cookies. You don't have to be a Reiki practitioner. You don't have to be a psychic medium. You're still psychic. You still have these abilities, but you could be doing it in a different way. You could intuitively be working with spirit to be a surgeon, to bake cookies, to be a mechanic, to be a hairdresser. You're still using your intuition. You don't have to be knee deep in the occult like some of us are, okay? You don't have to be Wiccan or anything like that, okay? So I want to make that clear. You are the only one who's going to know your path. And a big part of this ascension journey is grounding. Grounding is very important. Spending time outside, standing in the grass barefoot, because you are literally a conduit for all of this new energy that you've never felt before, and it can be overwhelming. Just like the plugs on the vacuum cleaner, they have 3 prongs. There's 3 holes in a wall. That one extra hole that is sometimes needed and sometimes not needed is for grounding. We are electrical beings. We have bioelectricity running through us, okay? So when you're receiving extra energy, you're going to need to use that grounding. Some appliances need that 3rd prong and some don't, because they have higher voltage than the other ones. You see what I mean? So you really start to look at yourself and others from a soul perspective, and you start to realize a lot of things. One thing I want to tell you about Ascension is that you don't have to feel overwhelmed about all of these things you're learning and all this research you're going to be doing and all this and that. You don't have to remember it. This is not like school. This is not traditional school. When you get the urge to research something or find out about something, learn something, become certified in something, it's only because you remember. You're remembering. Your memories are being triggered. Innately, you already know these things. And now you have to help the human understand these things and actually be able to express them, because you've done it before. Okay? So don't be so overwhelmed with all the information coming at you. Another word for ascension, another trigger word, is synchronicity. Synchronicity simply means that there are no coincidences. A synchronicity is when, you feel like things are just falling in place for you. Like when you have the breadcrumbs, you're getting all these clues, and then bam, something happens and you're like, wow. That's amazing, like how everything lined up just like that. You see what I mean? You may dream about a red bird, and then you may end up meeting somebody that's a mascot in a red bird suit that can help you build your business. Like crazy things like that, that are not so crazy. Coincidences, that we think are coincidences. They're called synchronicities, and it's because you are lining up with the universe to co-create. That's another thing about ascension. You will come into the awareness that life is not just happening around you. You are creating it. You are in cahoots with God, the universe, and everything you think and say is being put out there. And you're creating your reality. And then what's happening is it's being mirrored back to you. So if you don't like it, change it from within. Okay? Let's see. Oh, big sensitive part about ascension is that you may start speaking differently. Your beliefs may change. And you're not going to make sense to your family and friends. There's going to be periods of time where you think you're going nuts. They think you're going nuts. And some people may stop talking to you. You may have to stop talking to certain people. That's because people are being moved out of your life that are not on the level of consciousness that you're on. They're not ready yet. It doesn't mean that they're going to be gone forever. It just means for right now, this is where you need to be, and there is where they need to be. Okay? And it hurts. Believe me, been through it. It hurts. And it's a lonely path, but it's also a rite of passage. Okay? So yeah, there's a lot of people you're going to have to let go of, but the silver lining is all the beautiful souls that you're going to meet that we call soul family. There's another Ascension trigger word. We call them soul family because you're going to start to meet people once you allow yourself to let go of control and trying to keep people in your life that are not on your conscious level. You're going to start to meet people that are matching you vibrationally, and you're going to feel like you've known them even though they're strangers, and you're going to feel this kindred spirit connection with these people. It's going to be a whole different level of friendships and relationships for you, okay? And then later on, just like in my experience, the people that you had to let go of will come around and start talking about the stuff you were talking about like 3 years ago. It's wild, but it happens. Let's see, letting people go. It is seriously like a rite of passage, those periods of time where you feel alone and you feel like nobody understands you. That's the period of time where the most growth happens, because you really have to lean on what you can't see. Your faith is being grown. You're basically being forced to create a relationship with God personally, not seeking outside of yourself for anything. You become more independent. You become more stronger in spirit, and you start to trust yourself more during those periods of time. We don't just have one awakening, just so you know. We have multiple different periods of time where we go through this isolation, and then we get back out there, and then we isolate, and then we get back out there, because it's an ebb and flow. Okay? Sometimes we need to pull back to go forward. This is a process, and it does not happen overnight. If it did, we wouldn't survive it. It has to happen slow. Okay? Let's see, what else can I think of to tell you about ascension, the rapture, and whatever else people want to call it. Oh, okay. One very important thing, and again, take all of this, take what resonates, and leave the rest. If you don't believe in any of this, this is great, but I don't need your comments. Just move along, right? Belief is a very powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing. So when it comes to certain people, because you're going to encounter this too, certain people who are still very wrapped up in religion will still have this duality mentality where, okay, well, I'm chosen and you're not. That is not my belief. I don't believe in specific people being chosen for specific tasks or things. And I do believe in the term God uses ordinary people. That means that if God comes to you, if Source comes to you and says, hey, here's this mission that I want you to do, and you reject it, that energy is just going to move to somebody else who accepts it. It's really that simple to me, okay? And it doesn't mean that you're never going to get the chance. You're going to get multiple chances to actually express this energy, but in your time, which is also divine timing, okay? Your will is God's will, because I have the belief that God is within you. You are part of Source. You are a part of God. It's your job here in this physical reality to express God, okay? All of God, not just the good parts, okay? That's that duality thinking. that good, bad, light, dark. No, you need all of it in order to function properly. It just needs to be in harmony. Sometimes we got too much dark. Sometimes we got too much light. Oh, man. Let's see. What else can I tell you about Ascension? I'm also going to do a video about all of the wonderful things you can do to alleviate your Ascension symptoms and to get you through. So these are going to be separate videos. I just wanted to answer the question, what is Ascension? If you have any more questions about what Ascension is, even if I don't know, I will find somebody who does know, because I do not claim to know everything. All of this stuff that I'm telling you right now is based off of my own personal experience and the experiences of others who've had similar experiences, okay? But other than that, that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And love and light to you.